Imagine a perfect society where everyone helped each other, fed each other and cared for each other, even in the face of adversity. This is what it would be like if you was an ant, and this is all about ants. Ants as we know them first evolved around 170 million years ago during the Jurassic period, and would have shared their environment with the dinosaurs. With little in the way of food sources, ants would have been a rare sight at the time, and it wasn't till 100 million years ago, when fruit-bearing trees and flowering plants arrived on the scene, that ants really started to make an impact. As the flowering plants were slowly replacing the spore-driven expansion of the plant species, cross-pollination occurred and a greater diversity was beginning to grow. The ants took advantage of the now abundant food sources, and their own diversity evolved along with the flora. Some ants took to the trees to build their nests, others burrowed into the ground and fallen logs. Today there is an ant for almost every environmental niche. Over 13,800 species have been identified and described, with a possible 10,000 more species yet to be discovered. Ants are so varied that it is almost impossible to give a generic behavioural description that encompasses all ant species in one statement, and yet I can use one word to explain why they are so successful: social. Ants have a family arrangement that humans cannot emulate. Their very existence depends on the reliance of their siblings and offspring, and the social network that exists within that colony consists of different types of ants that appear to know exactly what is expected of them, all done for the good of the whole colony. No one ant is better than the next. They all have a purpose, and they are all willing to die for it. The lifespan of an ant can vary greatly over species and type. The longest living ant we know of was a garden black ant queen that survived in laboratory conditions for almost 29 years, but there are probably ants in the wild that are much older than this. Just like in humans, the males have the toughest deal. Males can live as little as a few days or as long as a few months depending on the ant species. After mating, they will die. Workers' lifespans also differ depending on species, but in a recent paper it was discovered that worker ants born into a new or small colony had longer life expectancy than workers born into a large colony, where they were easily replaceable parts in the big wheel of life. Colony size is another species-dependent number. Some species have small nests ranging in the hundreds, where some have nests in range of millions. And I think it would be great if they all subscribe to my channel right now. Maybe give this video a like and then comment down below on all the things I've got wrong so far. As you're probably quite aware by now, ants are insects, and like all insects, their body is divided into three sections: the head, the thorax and the abdomen. The skeleton of insects is on the outside of the body, unlike mammals which have an endoskeleton. Ants have an exoskeleton, and their skeleton is waterproof and tough. The head of an ant contains the useful ingredients for all insects of two large compound eyes, mouthparts called mandibles, and antennae. The mandibles are used not only for biting but for carrying and dragging as well as cutting. Like many insects, the eyes of an ant are almost useless, seeing only shadows or the changes in light. This is where their sense of smell comes into play. Not having noses, they have around 5 times more odour receptors on their antennae than most insects, giving them an exceptional advantage when searching for that sticky fruit gum you drop from your pocket. Their sense of smell isn't only located in their antenna, but also in maxillary palps located close to the mouth that can detect scent trails and pheromones. Apart from the nose thing, ants also do breathing a little differently as well. They do take in oxygen just like other creatures, but they take it in through tiny holes on their body called spiracles, and then emit carbon dioxide from those very same holes. The heart of an ant is nothing more than a tube that pumps colourless blood around their body and back again, and is very similar to my ex-wife. Ants are also capable of dispensing formic acid via a stinger or by spraying it from an acidipore located at the end of the abdomen. This acid spray or sting can be irritating to human skin, but not all ants use this venom. Fire ant venom is made up of almost 95% water-insoluble alkaloid, which can build up in the body if enough stings are received and anaphylaxis can set in, and if left untreated can become life-threatening. Speaking of stings, one of the world's most painful stings comes from the bullet ant, which ranks in the top tier of 4 in the Schmidt Pain Index. Schmidt himself describes the pain as pure, intense, brilliant pain, although I can't see what is so brilliant about it. Some ant species are truly fascinating, and leafcutters spring to mind. You may think that there is only one species of leafcutter, but there are 47 different ones in total that display this behaviour. They hail from South and Central America, with a species being seen in southern North America. Their modus operandi being to cut leaves and carry them back to their nest, where they don't actually eat the leaves, but plant them in a garden which grow an edible fungus that they feed to their ant larvae. Honey ants store up a type of nectar in their abdomens, swelling to the size of a small grape, to ensure the colony never runs out of food when times are hard. This sweet nectar can be regurgitated and fed to their siblings in emergencies, and they are so valued that other ant colonies will actively invade nests of honey ants and steal the engorged ants to take them back to their own nests for dessert. Indigenous Australians know these ants all too well, and for centuries have included them in their diet as a source of sugar, and I'm still waiting for the recipe book. Gordon Ramsay needs to watch his step. These are, of course, only a few of the wildly interesting ant species that grace this earth, and if I give them all a YouTube shout out, they would probably make their own channel and my precious watch time would be lost to them. Not only are ants amazing, but some odd people keep them as pets, like tiny 6-legged dogs that live in a box. Did I mention I had ants? There are many species of ants available for you to keep at home, although in some countries where they have freedom, you're not allowed all of them. There are also many people that sell ant queens for you to start your colonies off with. I get mine from Ants on a Rock, because they sell ants from a rock. But I'm sure wherever you live, there will be your own rock with your own ants on it. When you receive your ants, they will arrive in a test tube filled with water with a cotton wool bung separating the ant queen and the workers from a watery death, and another cotton wool bung in the end that prevents them from invading your kitchen and stealing all your sugar. There are many ways to move forward from this test tube scenario, and the YouTube has many resources for you to pursue at your leisure to discover the best one for you. Be aware, ants, like all arthropods, are addictive and should carry a warning label that informs you in advance that one species will never be enough. And this is all I'm going to say about ants at this time, or I may run out of video content if I put it all in one place. Thanks for watching.